a nutty time, right? It's been a busy year. Susan will talk about what we've been up to in just a few moments. We also have a special guest speaker to share with us today, Deena Mansour. A quick reminder, this meeting will be recorded and available on our website. First up, we'd like to share a short video about our United Way, and it'll be available for your use in your campaigns this year. I'm excited to share it with you.
Problems. The ones that erode our community. The ones that divide us at coffee shops and dinner parties. The hidden ones no one has solved. We go looking for them. In unforgiving parts of town and seemingly docile neighborhoods. We find every dollar we can to address them. But we are more than fundraisers. We are hand raisers. We are stop talking, start doing, take on the impossible game changers. We lead the way. United, we confront homelessness in Missoula. United, we stand up for children and families who need our help. United, we reach out to those at risk of suicide. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround our community's most critical problems. We fight for those who need a voice and those whose names we do not know. United Way of Missoula County fights for the education, financial stability, and health of every person in our community. Because change doesn't happen alone. Hope isn't a one-man band. We are all connected. We have one life, and we must live united. Together, there is a way.
Thank you, Rosie. And I'd also like to thank today's sponsor for our 2020 campaign kickoff, Blackfoot. And thanks to you, especially Jason Williams, fellow board member at Blackfoot. Yesterday and today, our ambassadors who had RSVP'd, and those are the company leaders who manage their workplace campaigns, received an ambassador survival kit made possible by Blackfoot sponsorship. It looked a little like this. We hope those goodies give you the lift you need to plan and run a great campaign. The kits have branded items such as wipes, tissues, a face mask, stress ball, and earphones to make things a little bit easier for our important volunteers. Our staff will make sure any of you who didn't register ahead of time still get a kit. Jason, would you please say a few words?
You bet, Melissa. Thank you so much. You know, in your gift bag, you will find the Live United face masks. And I've got a bunch of them, but that one is my go-to face mask because it really does convey something that I think is really important. You think about, as Melissa indicated, just the crazy times we're living in, you know, the worldwide pandemic, you know, the nationwide civil and social unrest, and now we've got wildfires ripping across the West, pouring hazardous amounts of smoke into Missoula. And what I really like too about that video that was just shown is that despite all this kind of ostensible thing, clearly people are suffering, right? And I personally sometimes get frustrated because I don't feel like I'm in a position to do anything to help those in need. And that's really where the United Way comes in for me, not just on a personal level, but as a leader of Blackfoot. I now, through this kickoff campaign, have the ability to kind of carry the message of the amazing things United Way is doing in our communities, and can point to tangible things too that Susan and the entire team are doing to make positive, sustain changes in Missoula. So with that, I urge all of you as ambassadors to really carry the message of United Way to your organizations and throughout the community. And I'm delighted to have Blackfoot sponsoring this kickoff campaign is now more than ever. I think the work that we can be doing through this organization is paramount for our community's success. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate it. And thank you and Blackfoot for all you do for Missoula and so many other communities, especially today for making possible our great swag. Thanks to my United Way board members, including Jason Williams, and to my incredible colleagues on the United Way staff. I think Rosie is going to show us a picture of all of them. Ta-da! These are amazing community servants, and I should say I'm Susan Hay Patrick, CEO of United Way of Missoula County. I always forget that part. But every person that you see on your screen goes above and beyond for United Way, for our community, every day, and it is just. I guarantee you that all of your work on our behalf supports their outstanding work, and they are well worth investing in. So thank you for that. You know, I think at the end of our video, there's usually a slide. I think we didn't show it this time, but there's a slide of all the multiple logos of things that United Way works on. And here it is for you now. Far too much to go into in any great detail today. If you haven't read our annual report, please go to our website, MissoulaUnitedWay.org, and read it. I think you'll get a sense of how much we're doing to improve life for everyone, especially in the areas of education, financial stability, and health. But frankly, also how well my colleagues are doing this work, whether it's making sure that 3,000 little kids receive a book in the mail every month at no cost to their families, or whether it's shining a light of help and hope on depression and suicide, whether it's bringing our whole community together to focus on the well-being of kids 0 to 5, or reducing wildfire, or strengthening our nonprofit sector. I am incredibly proud of our work and our results, and I'm excited for this year's fundraising campaign, even in this unusual and challenging time, because we have opportunity to demonstrate solutions that work, the opportunity to enhance our community, and the opportunity to offer hope. Obviously, it takes money to do all that, and it takes all of us working together to raise the money our community needs to thrive. We cannot do it alone. So thank you, ambassadors, for all you make happening for United Way and for our community. This is undoubtedly the most unusual kickoff in our almost 90-year history in Missoula. My colleagues are so tired of hearing me say this, but we are driving the train over the tracks as we are laying down those tracks and hurtling into an unknown future, a future that feels like we're writing it in pencil. Every nonprofit, including United Way, is trying to reimagine ourselves and create new approaches to pursuing our missions. It's scary. Funding is uncertain, community needs are soaring. It's a really big ask. But I think our sector is equal to the challenge. During the last 6 months, our United Way has helped illustrate how nonprofits have led the way with responsiveness, creativity, innovation. In our scrappy, get-her-done way, we have, to use the cliche of the day, pivoted quickly and effectively. In terms of our United Way, in the face of COVID-19, no other nonprofit in the state raised and distributed almost $500,000 in 6 weeks. all while continuing to advance and even expand on all of our other work in education, financial stability, and health. I am so grateful to everyone who made that possible. And then we were confronted nationally and locally with the undeniability of racial inequity and systemic injustice. That and COVID-19 have sparked a level of urgency and opportunity in our sector and in our United Way. This is our moment to lead, to recommit to systemic change, and to kickstart what's possible. So I want us to think of this kickoff as a kickstart. No one can predict what's coming, but this much is clear. Our responsibility is to seize the opportunity to create a better new normal for our community, a more equitable new normal, a new normal where we continue to move forward, to keep trying, to keep pushing, to keep focusing on results, and to keep innovating. I want to announce a new effort we're going to be leading for Missoula County. This one to address the plague of substance abuse, particularly meth, that is plaguing our community, filling our jails and emergency rooms, and fracturing our families. We are going to be launching Substance Abuse Connect Missoula, an initiative focused on substance abuse prevention, treatment, and recovery, because we are not going to arrest our way out of this crisis. We're launching this with a $248,000 federal grant from HIDA. I have a lot of new acronyms in my life. HIDA, ONCD, DCP. HIDA is the High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area. It's a division of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, ONDCP. It's a year-long pilot, a community-wide collective impact-focused collaboration headquartered at United Way that, of course, we will work to sustain long-term. We were one of just 3 proposals approved in a 4-state area. We'll be hearing more about this and possibly getting involved in it in the coming weeks. And finally, before I introduce our speaker, I want to again thank you, our United Way ambassadors. You are very special people who represent us in your businesses, and we pledge to do everything we can to support you in your work to support us. We are so grateful to you, far more than even a United Way stress ball and a thing of wet wipes can illustrate. Thank you, all of you, for joining us in explaining United Way, enhancing our community, and offering hope in a challenging time. Thank you for kickstarting us toward a better new normal for United Way, for our entire community. It is now my pleasure to introduce Deena Mansour, Executive Director of the Maureen and Mike Mansfield Center. Deena has spent more than 30 years of international education experience in government, nonprofit, and corporate settings. Since 2009, she's served as part of the leadership team guiding the vision and operations of the Mansfield Center, whose mission is to foster globally minded leaders of integrity. During her tenure, Deena has supported public diplomacy efforts between Montana and the world. She's also raised a ton of money, by the way, including the overseas travel of hundreds of Montana high school and university students and professionals, including me. She has extensive experience in diversity and inclusion, including work with Native American tribal communities and developing women's leadership initiatives. Deena earned her master's in public administration at the University of Montana and a bachelor's in international relations and economics at American University. She's traveled to more than 45 countries and served as a diplomat at the US Embassy in Indonesia. To me, Deena is all that, but more importantly, she is a dear friend, a fellow cat lover, and the person who has made it possible for me to get to know, to work with, and in many cases to love so many young leaders from developing nations who have enriched my life. They claim to think of me as a mentor, but they have taught me, I'm getting choked up, they have taught me more than I can ever teach them. So thank you, Deena, for opening that world window for me and for speaking to us today. Please welcome Deena Mansour. Yay.
Well, thank you, Susan. And I have to say how inspired I am by Susan and her whole team at United Way. You know, Susan has been awarded so many times over the years, and one that I'm personally so thankful for is her award by the U.S. Department of State as an Alumni Impact Awardee for her impact here in Missoula and in communities across the world. She and United Way are the very best of what we are and who we are in Missoula and in Western Montana. So I'm honored to be asked to speak today, and I'm so inspired by all the ambassadors on this call. It is phenomenal that you are here to support the work of United Way. And what I'd like to talk a little bit about today is that tagline of Live United, the idea that when we work together, we can accomplish great things. And you ambassadors are critical in that effort. United Way is a collaborative approach to challenges that face our community. And that's why I am passionate about the work of United Way, because I'm passionate about community and humanity. So let me share a little of my story of how community has raised me up and really and truly changed my life. So I am going to share my screen. Hopefully I will share my PowerPoint and not my children's graduation picture here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about who I am and where I came from and how that fits into why community is so important. This picture here is of Louis Armstrong in Egypt in 1961. He was sent by the US Department of State to Egypt simply to share the joy of music with low-income communities across Egypt. It was a time when the US and Egypt were at odds. They were leaning toward the Soviet Union and the Cold War. There were many crises involving Israel, a Suez Canal, and this was simply about community. How do we reach out to everyone, to youth, to kids, to lower income, and share this joy of community and caring about one another, about mutual understanding. And that is important to me because I am a child of Egyptian immigrants. I'm a first-generation American. These are my parents who came to the United States to pursue a better life for their family, to pursue their degrees. My dad came here in 1966. My mom came shortly thereafter, and that picture is actually of her in the 90s pursuing a second master's degree at Catholic University. But we were embraced as a family. I was born in the US, but it was community that made them feel comfortable and welcomed. This is their first host family in the United States. My family was Muslim, and if you know anything about Islam, they don't have anything to do with pigs. They don't touch them, they don't eat them. And these were pig farmers. What an ironic host family to give the Muslims. But you know, it was about community, and they stayed in touch for decades until 3 of the 4 people in this picture passed away. And we were embraced by community, that we lived in small towns across the United States, Indianola, Iowa, Oxford, Mississippi, Laramie, Wyoming. And in each place, we were embraced by community. We were supported. We were supported with resources that only nonprofits and coming together could provide to a new growing family in the United States. This is me with my own kids in Egypt about 8 years ago, with the family that my father had left behind with some of his sisters and his kids, and looking at how developing that global and community was so incredibly important for our family. And this was me after I became a diplomat. I was serving in Indonesia, another Muslim society. This is me and another diplomat from the embassy at a Muslim boarding school. It was the first time these boys had ever met an American. And what we shared with them was that volunteer spirit of Americans, that caring, that passionate mutual understanding between societies. So I had an incredible journey coming from an immigrant family that lived in low-income housing to a diplomat and now the director of the Mansfield Center and raising my own kids in Missoula, Montana right now. So, you know, why do I share my story? It's because of this tagline of Live United. It's because of the passion that all of you as ambassadors have for our community and making it the best possible place it can be. We are all building a better community for all in that ethic of United Way. And of course, the three main focus areas are education, financial stability, and health. And in each of these areas, our family was supported in creating a better life for ourselves. That the 0 to 5 programs, the libraries, the education, the parenting support, all of these things that United Way does in our area, these are things that were instrumental to raising me up and allowing me to be successful in my life. The financial stability and independence that community support allowed my parents to pursue their degrees, to pursue that education, and to have financial stability for their families. That access to affordable and quality health care. I will say, you know, my mother is one of 5 girls in her family. She is the oldest, and she is still the only one alive today. And the reason for that is because she was the only one who left Egypt. She immigrated to a society where community had some access to healthcare, and her diabetes was managed, her arthritis was managed, and so many things that we as individuals in society need, she got here that you can't always get. And United Way is committed to providing that physical and mental health care for the community. So that's kind of my story and why I identify so closely with what United Way does for the people of Northwestern Montana. And my work is global in scope, and that I appreciate that while United Way works specifically to support our community, these are global challenges. As Susan mentioned, she's been involved in international work. And what's clear to me and what's clear to Susan as a nonprofit leader is that we have to work across borders to solve these challenges. And so I'd like to share with you a video that some international fellows made when they came. I am not a technological master, even though we have been doing this for how many months. But some of our fellows that came here from Southeast Asia made a video about community. So I want to share this because it's fascinating that even though they come from such different contexts in Southeast Asia, 8,000 miles away from us, you will see in some of the signs they hold up the themes that you are supporting as ambassadors for United Way. So I'm going to show this 3.5-minute video.
Deena, we can't see it. Maybe you can see it.
Deena.
You can't see it. Maybe she's frozen.
Uh-oh. You can't see the video?
No.
Oh, no. What do you see?
The Louis Armstrong slide.
You see what?
The Louis Armstrong slide.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Okay.
Try
Let me
again.
try this again.
So maybe can you X out of this? Yeah.
What do you see now? Oh, now my screen share is okay. Let's see. How about now?
There we go.
Yes.
All right.
Go back to
Sorry
the
about
beginning.
that. I'm going to start over.
Perfect.
Can you see it? Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I am like every bad Onion or New Yorker cartoon, so I will mess up a few more times on this, but I'm not going to talk for much longer. But what I love about that is truly that these are global challenges, and this is what United Way does so well. It meets the challenge of community. I love that video, but more importantly, I love that video that Susan and her colleagues put together at the start of this Kickstart event. That it truly made me tear up. The things that they do in this community and the things that you as ambassadors will make happen. And I know it's not easy to be an ambassador. One of my previous jobs was working at a Dow Jones corporate paper in northern Michigan, and I was the ambassador for the Traverse City Record Eagle. And we had a variety of backgrounds and incomes at that job, from the very wealthy publisher to the very not wealthy newspaper carriers and production facility employees. And what was so invigorating and inspiring about this team is that they cared about community, that there were people who could donate thousands of dollars and there were people who could donate single dollars, but they all pulled together and did it because they knew that there was always a neighbor who needed their help. And that's what's inspirational to me about you as ambassadors, that you're willing to take time at a very challenging time in our history to make a difference and to support United Way. So I'm passionate about United Way. Community is clearly what made me who I am today, what has made me able to better nurture my own children so that they can be successful, and that you are doing the same. So thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you, Susan and United Way, for the incredible work you do. And thanks, ambassadors, for making it happen.
Thank you so much, Deena, for those really inspirational words. Hi, everyone. For those who, if I haven't met anyone on the call, my name is Rosie Goldich. I'm the development manager at United Way of Missoula County. So now that you've been incredibly inspired by the work of United Way and the words of Susan Hay Patrick and Deena Mansour, we're going to talk about the nitty-gritty, right? Like we're excited for a campaign. What do we do? How do we do it? All that fun stuff. So I am going to share my screen and talk about the 2020 campaign. As you probably know, we are transitioning to almost entirely virtual this year. What does that mean, right? How do we know what virtual looks like? How do we still create that really strong engagement, right? That Susan talked about, that Deena talked about. So United Way Missoula County has created an online campaign center. Now, normally you get a packet with all the pledge forms and information, and Aaron and I or Susan would go and talk to your fellow coworkers and employees about what United Way does and how they can get involved. Well, this year, obviously, this is going to look a little different. So if you go to missoulaunitedway.org/campaign-center, you're going to find essentially a resource page full of information on how you can do your campaign online. So there's a couple different pieces that you'll see on the website if you're pulling it up now. One of them is a digital campaign guide, and this is kind of an overview of how to do a digital campaign or a virtual campaign. There's engagement and virtual event ideas like, cutest pet contests or a virtual happy hour, things where you can gather your coworkers together, not necessarily in the same space, and talk about United Way and why you all are passionate about United Way. There's also a campaign checklist and timeline, so you can make sure that you're hitting the milestones of your campaign, depending on how long it is or how short it is. And there's also communications and social media plan. So you can look at, how do I engage my coworkers within the organization online? How do I tell the rest of our community, the rest of Missoula, the rest of our online community, why we care about United Way and why we choose to campaign with United Way? So what is a virtual campaign? We keep on saying it, everything's going virtual, but what does that actually mean and what does it look like? So if you are looking at doing an entirely virtual campaign, not a hybrid campaign, which I'll talk about in a second, we would host a donation page on the United Way Missoula County's website. So if you go to missoulaunitedway.org/donate, that's what our general donate page looks like. Just imagine it tailored to your business or to your organization. So it would say Clearwater Credit Union 2020 campaign, or it would say Homeward 2020 campaign. And so you would get a personalized link that would be live for probably 2 to 3 weeks so that people can go online, sign up to donate that way. We would get that information and then it would be sent back to your HR or payroll person, whoever needs that information. We could do a presentation during a virtual staff meeting. At many of our campaigns, this is a great way to be updated on United Way's information. We can talk about what we do, what we've been up to during 2020. And if you would like any of the materials that we put out, so for example, our 2019 annual report or our COVID-19 fund report, or any other materials, those are all on that Campaign Center page as well. We are also updated our pledge forms. So if you still need paper pledge forms, which totally understandable, we have updated those pledge forms and they're also online. So you would just print those out. Your employees or your coworkers can fill them out, and then you can either scan and send them to us or drop them off or whatever works best for you. Now, what is a hybrid campaign? Well, a hybrid campaign is like a virtual campaign, but it got a little bit more, it's just a little bit different. So like I said, paper pledge forms are still available. You can either have them delivered to you or you can print them out online. We have paper materials that can be dropped off. So if you need annual reports or brochures or your coworkers need just a little bit more information about United Way, we can absolutely drop off those materials to you. And then we can also have virtual presentations still from United Way staff members. So Erin, Susan, and I or other United Way staff people are always available to come to campaigns and talk about what we do and why we love United Way, and give you an update on how your company or your organization can help support United Way's mission. And if you have people who maybe aren't as interested in payroll this year, maybe they want to do something a little bit different, that's totally understandable. We have a new program called GEM, which is Give Every Month. So you have a coworker that can become a GEM. And it's just a Give Every Month. It's our monthly online giving campaign. And people can contact a United Way staff person, either myself or Erin, and we can help walk them through that process of signing up for monthly that is not related to their payroll giving. So that is a little quick overview of what our campaign is going to look like this year. If you still have questions about your own company's personal campaign, what you are thinking about would work best for you, you can always contact myself or contact Erin. And you say, yeah, I really want to do a fully virtual campaign this year, and we can get that campaign page set up for you on our website or on your own website if you want it to be within your company's intranet. Or we can do a hybrid campaign with a blend of paper forms, in-person, whatever works best. We understand that right now each company is doing has their own set of rules and their own set of guidelines. And so we want to be aware of that and make sure that each campaign is personalized to what your company needs. So I can open it up to any questions, comments, concerns, general thoughts for either myself or Susan or Deena. If you have any questions for the three of us that you need answered right now. Great. Okay. I think everyone has my contact information in addition to Erin, our Director of Development and Marketing, or Susan's. So if you have any questions for us, or if you say, yes, I'm fully ready, let's get this campaign going, feel free to contact us and set up a meeting so that we can get everything started. So yeah, so thanks everyone for coming. Feel free, like I said, to reach out. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great campaign this year.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Deena, for the inspiring video. I saw some familiar faces there. and thanks to all of you for being with us. Just really means the world to us. And thank you for helping us kickstart our way into a bright future. Thanks a lot.